In today's episode, Erika asks, what are some good goals for B2B businesses to set up in Google Analytics for? Wherever you have customer touchpoints. So one of the challenges with B2B marketing, particularly complex sales, which are sales that have multiple decision makers, long sales cycles, sometimes sales cycles that go well past the 90-day attribution window of Google Analytics, is that you can't do full funnel analysis with Google Analytics alone. You know, a big part of it's going to be what happens in your marketing automation system, what happens in your CRM, and your customer management system. So to get value out of Google Analytics, you have to look at those touch points that are within the window of attribution, that 90-day rolling window, and that have meaning in your sales process. So things that would be important to track would be simple stuff like, did you request a demo or schedule a sales call? All right, those would be very obvious things that are towards the bottom of the marketing funnel and the top of the sales funnel, where you have that handoff to sales with a marketing qualified lead. And then everything that happens prior to that for a marketing qualified lead. So you're talking about all the different touch points, such as downloading or an ebook or a webinar or a white paper, form fills of any kind. You might be wanting to look at large amounts of engagement. Somebody who is on your site and is hitting important pages like your about page, your leadership page, your products and services page. If someone does all of those, that might be something that you'd want to know. How much content has a person consumed? Clicks on things like ungated PDFs, phone numbers, emails, anything on your site that indicates some level of intent or interest in you that goes above and beyond just a curious looky-loo. Not that there's anything wrong with curious looky-loos, but you'll find that, well, at least I've found that in my data, a lot of the curious looky-loos are unqualified, right? They're academic students or researchers or things, people looking for content that I'm happy to provide, but they're not going to turn into a viable sales opportunity anytime soon. Now, that's not to say it never happens. I have had folks who have been on my email list for 10 years and gone from, marketing associate to VP of marketing in the industry. And, suddenly they are decision makers. And it took 10 years to get to that point, right? Which is well outside of the attribution window that Google Analytics has. So it's good to have a look at all these different activities and track them as conversions, track them as events in Google Analytics 4. And then start doing mathematical analysis, start doing statistical analysis of the people who convert to true sales qualified leads or sales opportunities. Which of these metrics do they all have in common? Which of these metrics do they not have? Do people who are serious sales opportunities, do they have a certain number of ebook downloads? This is all stuff that you can do with advanced technology like machine learning and data science models and stuff, but you can also do a scaled down version of this. Again, just looking at raw activity levels. If you group everybody who's a true sales qualified lead in one bucket, and you look at all their activities in your marketing automation system, and then you look at everybody who's not a sales qualified lead, just tallying up counts. Do non-qualified leads do more things of a certain type than others? And that's then stuff that you would want to, in Google Analytics, maybe say, you know what? Webinar participants, not a good indicator. I'm making this up. Webinar participants, not a good indicator of a qualified lead, right? 75% of our unqualified leads attended webinars, and only 25% attended webinars. So you might say in Google Analytics, okay, we're going to keep tracking that as an event. We're going to unmark it as a conversion because it's not helpful anymore, right? It just doesn't do the job in terms of helping us understand the things we need to do to get more qualified leads, to identify more qualified leads. So what I would do to start is I would start by setting up events for pretty much every customer touch point. Wait however long your sales cycle is times 2, right? So if your sales cycle, or your marketing qualified lead cycle is 40 days, right? Wait for 80 days, your marketing qualified lead cycle times 2. And then do that basic math. Tally up those events which are conversions that the converted qualified leads have in common. Tally up those events that are not. And then adjust your Google Analytics to count some things as conversions and other things just as events, just as things that are nice to know. And then repeat that analysis on a regular and frequent basis, maybe quarterly. Again, to capture if maybe in Q1 webinars are not the thing, but maybe in Q4 it is. Maybe people's needs have changed at certain times of the year based on what's going on in their own businesses. So you want to reevaluate those events. But that's one of the powerful things about Google Analytics 4. You can set up a ton of events and then do some homework and figure out which of those events should be marked as conversions and which of them you should just leave as events. And knowing you're still going to have the data if you want to be able to analyze it later on down the road. You will just need to mark it as a conversion if you want to use it for the built-in attribution tools. But that's what my suggestion would be. So really good question. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.